I'll be arguing on the prop side of the motion. This House believes that women should reject male solidarity in feminist causes. Solidarity is vitally important to any movement towards social justice, but we must completely ensure that the movement does not replicate the very power structures of oppression that it claims to challenge. So, this is why we believe that women should not be allowing men the title of feminist. They should not be allowing men to participate in feminist causes. Okay. To understand this debate, we must understand the definition of feminism. It is a social-political movement with the central goal of ending sexism and dismantling gender-based oppression. Gender-based oppression is something that affects women and affects women only. This is the idea that majority of the world leaders are male. Women earn less than men for doing the same work. It's obviously an issue that we need feminism in today's society. So why should men not be allowed to support this cause, and why do we believe that they shouldn't be allowed to participate in feminist causes? It is because we live in a world, and the context of this debate is happening in a world where people are born and raised with the ideology that masculinity is strength. This idea has been imprinted in us from young due to the fact that males take majority of positions of power. They are seen as natural leaders, and they do get privileges such as we don't have equal pay, etc. So we've been, whether consciously or subconsciously, taught that men are leaders, men are dominant, and this is what feminism is against. So women are experiencing this oppression. Women experience the brunt of gender-based oppression. And although men are affected by the patriarchy too, what with toxic masculinity, etc., they are not directly targeted by this issue. Feminism is a movement created by women, for women, to free women. So, I will be explaining to you in 2 points why women rejecting male solidarity in feminist causes is beneficial for the cause and strengthens feminism as a whole. My first point will be male domination and examples of where this has happened in the feminist cause, and my second point will be the allyship model and how allyship is actually strengthening the feminist cause more than men actively participating in feminist causes ever would. So on to my first point, male domination. I've explained to you that we've been raised in a patriarchy. We've been raised to believe that men are dominant, and men have been raised to believe that they are entitled, that their opinion goes, that they are the natural leaders of causes. When men involve themselves in feminist causes, what happens is people are surprised, people are amazed that men care about women and who make up the other half of the planet. People give them the limelight, they give them the spotlight just for caring about an issue that they should have cared about anyway. And this means that they get more limelight than women that have actually experienced this oppression firsthand and can really strengthen the feminist cause. This has happened in 3 cases: Charles Clymer, James Dean, and Hugo Schweitzer. These are 3 very influential male feminists that have gone wrong. Charles Clymer started a Facebook page for feminists, not just male feminists, all feminists, and he controlled this Facebook page where he was very vocal about his opinion on gender-based oppression and feminism. And many women were commenting, women that had truly experienced sexual assault or other forms of gender-based oppression. And Charles Clymer would delete comments wherever he felt like. He would reply sexist remarks at times. He got into a lot of trouble for deleting what he felt was not true feminism. This is very, very bad for the feminist cause, because firstly, it's splitting the feminist cause. It's we've already had this issue with white feminism versus intersectional feminism. It's an issue that we have faced previously, and we do not need another type of feminism. We do not need another group of people arguing for feminism, especially a group of people that are not directly affected by gender-based oppression, because they have a different agenda, they have a different belief of what they want out of feminism. So Hugo Schweitzer was a feminist, was a white outspoken feminist, and he'd written a book, and he had a huge following, but he had so many sexual assault charges against him that women did not know about, that the people that followed him did not know about. This means that all the publicity that he had was wrongly acquired. He was an awful person, and women that have argued for this cause and fought for this cause their entire lives, that have truly been extremely affected by gender-based oppression, that have had the most difficult lives, and are finally trying to speak up and go against this oppressing system and liberate themselves. These women do not have a voice. These women are silenced by men that are given cookies for really doing something they should be doing all along, for just caring. And it's not fair it's not fair to women who are directly affected by this issue, that men are once again domineering the cause, that are once again taking away their spotlight and taking away the leadership positions that they deserve because they have created this movement. It is not fair that in the movement where we are trying to end the idea that males have the majority of the spotlight, in a movement where we are trying to end the idea that males dominate, that masculinity is strength and femininity is weakness, we are giving the majority of the power to males, just because we're surprised that they care about the other half of the population. This leads me on to the second point. We don't need men to fight our battles, we just need them to listen, understand, and support us. So this comes in with the allyship model, my second point. The LGBT community used this, because obviously straight people and cis people were not part of the LGBT community, as men cannot be feminists, but they supported them. They supported them without having to label themselves as supporters. It's not a self-defined term, allyship. It just means that we count actions over words. They do not need to be famous. They do not need to be given limelight for supporting a cause that generally promotes human rights, in essence. Okay? Men do not need to be given a spotlight. Men do not need to be given leadership positions in a movement about women, because they are not the ones being directly affected, because they are the ones with identity privilege in this case. They're the ones that are paid more, that are given leadership positions, etc. So, as I said, solidarity is vitally important to a movement as long as we are not replicating the very system we are trying to go against. We cannot be allowing men to have the upper hand in these systems, which is why we want the allyship model that allows them to support the cause and to believe in the cause and to help our cause without domineering it, without telling feminists how to be feminists, without taking away the spotlight from women that really deserve it, without taking away the spotlight from women that have fought and argued and tried their entire lives to liberate themselves and their children and the people around them from the issues that they so prevalently face in our society today. We do not want to take the spotlight away from women. Why is it necessary that men have positions of such power, that men are given this limelight in a movement about women, in a movement that they can never fully understand? It is unnecessary. It shows weakness in the feminist movement that we think we cannot achieve our goals by ourselves, that we need men to guide us and to help us. And it's hypocritical, because we are allowing the same structures we are fighting in our own movement. Thank you.